Why are you of all people here right now, Dalton? Don't you know that we are a family of some of the most well-known lawyers in this area? Despite all the effort that we put into you, you failed the bar exam and brought great shame upon this whole entire family. After that, we had to cut ties to your uneducated self, and yet, here you are today, at your brother's wedding of all places. Why did you think coming here today would be a good idea?
Hi, Mom. It's been a long while. I was invited to be at this wedding today, so that's why I'm here.
You were invited? What kind of nonsense are you going on about right now? There's no way any of us would be willing to invite a disgrace like you to the wedding of a lawyer today.
You're calling me a disgrace now? I get that I wasn't able to live up to all your expectations, Mom, but that doesn't mean you can call me something like a disgrace.
Stop whining about what I'm calling you. You failed the bar exam because you are too stupid to be a part of this family. All of that money, all those years of raising you into what I thought would someday become an even better lawyer than your dad, has gone to waste.
Mom, I tried my best back then, okay?
I bet, but your best was nowhere good enough to make you into a productive member of this family. Now stop acting like you're trying your best was a good excuse for failing that exam. Do you think you can use that kind of childish excuse on everything that you fail at in life? If you don't come out with my excellent results in the end, then that means you wasted people's time, money, and efforts.
Hold on, though. Just because I failed it the first time doesn't mean that I can't take it again. You can take that exam up to 5 times, so me failing the first time wasn't the end of everything for me. I think you all cutting ties to me after something as simple as failing on my first try was way too much.
Listen here, Dalton. Your brother Seth went and studied way harder than you for that exam. And you know what? He went out and passed it on his first try. I feel like your dad and I were stabbed in the back by you for failing your exam after all the time and money we put into you. It makes me really embarrassed and infuriated just thinking about all of that. And now, you're trying to say that failing the first time, just because things might have not have gone your way during the exam, makes you one of the most, if not the most already worthless human in existence.
What?
Anyway, having a disgrace like you here at this wedding is going to lower the rest of this family's status. So, you leave this wedding venue right now.
All right, I'll go then.
Dalton, before this wedding starts today, do you mind coming over and introducing yourself to everyone? When do you think you can be over here? We're all waiting for you.
I'm sorry, Jessica. I think I'm gonna go back home after all.
What? What's going on with you right now?
Actually, I've been a bit hesitant towards all of this for a while now, but there's something I've been really needing to say to you about who you're getting married to today. Your husband is my brother, actually.
Wait, what? Are you serious? Wow. What an insane coincidence, I guess. Does that mean he's your brother from that family of yours that all went and cut ties to you a while back?
Yes, that's him. And actually, I just heard from my mom for the first time in years a little bit ago. And as I was expecting from her and the rest of them, they all said some really hurtful things about me.
No way.
I think me being a part of the wedding today is only going to make things worse for all the guests here. I wouldn't want to ruin your wedding since you've been looking forward to it for such a long time now. I know that today is supposed to be a very happy day where everyone's all excited about you. But I just can't be knowing they're all here. I'm really sorry for this, Jessica.
You don't have to be.
I promise that I'll explain a lot more about what happened back then to you another day.
Wait, Dalton, please, don't leave my wedding.
What? But if I stay here with all of you, I might end up causing your special day to be ruined. All of my family, and I'm sure plenty of their guests, hate me.
I get that, but I invited you here today to be one of my special guests and to celebrate me while I'm up in front of you all. You are here for me as my guest, not theirs. And I have a right to choose who I want here to be with me, which means that no other person here can tell you you have to leave without my permission. Understand?
That I understand, but
Don't worry about them, all right?
But they had all been a really difficult family for me in the past, and I know that they won't like me sticking around this wedding any longer.
I know, but they're all my family now as well, right? If they say anything else or do anything else to you, Dalton, you come tell me immediately so that I can handle them myself. You got it? Even when the ceremony is in full swing, you tell me.
Are you sure?
Dalton, I cannot stand seeing you get bullied by that family anymore. Now, could you please come find me so that you can introduce yourself to some of my guests out here? And after that, I have one thing I'd like to talk with you about regarding Seth.
Okay, Jessica. I'll be right out.
You still haven't gone home yet? How much longer do you plan on sitting around at this wedding doing as you'd like? I'm telling you right now, if you try any funny business today at Seth's wedding, it will not go easy on you.
Mom, I would never do anything to mess with Seth or this whole wedding today. I'm just here wanting to enjoy it, and I want it to go smoothly, just like all the other guests here today.
But how much of what you're saying to me about that is actually true, Dalton? Anyway, I'm betting you're still single, right? Have you ever had a chance at finding someone who'd be willing to go out with you and get married? Of course not. A loser like you would never be able to find anyone that could love you back since you failed your first attempt at the bar exam.
Stop that already, Mom. You want to know the reason why I failed that exam my first try? Because of you and Dad always pressuring me about how the family is a highly respected one since everyone in it is a lawyer and all that. By the time I had to sit down and take the exam, I couldn't focus because all I heard in my head was you guys yelling at me about how I needed to be perfect at everything.
Excuse me? All your dad and I were doing was providing you with the reasonable guidance you needed in order to succeed in this world. So don't start blaming the both of us for your failures.
Ugh, I knew you were gonna say something like that. Don't worry about me, though. I promise I'm not gonna go around this wedding today talking to any of your guests. And if any of them come to me, I promise not to tell them I was once a part of your family. Now, could you just leave me alone, please, Mom?
That's not the issue I have with you today. The issue I have is with you just existing in the same building as the rest of the family. None of us, not your brother, not your dad, and not myself, invited you to be at this wedding today. In other words, there is no possible way that you have a seat here with us.
You still don't get it then, do you, Mom? I wasn't invited to this wedding today to be Seth's guest. I was invited to this wedding today by my friend Jessica, who's the bride to Seth.
What? Wait, you know Jessica? And you called her your friend?
And she's not just any friend of mine either, but a very, very close friend that I've been talking to for a long time now. And as one of her best friends, I'm supposed to be giving a speech for her today.
I never knew that. Well, so be it. None of that matters to me anyway. There is still time before this wedding starts, and you caused all of this event to be ruined, so get out of here! Leave right now, Dalton. And you go apologize to Jessica, telling her that you have to leave. Right now.
Mom, I'm not leaving this wedding. I promised Jessica that I'd be here to celebrate her big day today, and I will not break that promise to her. And I have a speech to give.
Well, then don't blame us if anything really embarrassing ends up happening to you today.
What?
I am not playing any more games with you, disgracing the name of this family with your filthy tongue. In that speech of yours you gave today, you told everyone here that you were the younger brother of Seth. How dare you? I will not forgive you for doing something like that.
But all I said were facts during that whole entire speech, right? What's the big deal here?
Everything is a big deal after all those things you said about us and your brother. Ever since we kicked you out of the house, out of the family, we've told everyone that we only have one child now, and that we never had you. But now, after what you pulled during that speech, I'm being asked countless times by all the guests what's going on, and why I never said anything about you.
I see. Well, why not just tell them the truth about it then? Tell them that you disowned your son a while back because he failed the bar exam on his first try. They should all be able to understand that reasoning, right?
I already tried explaining all of that to them, but that's not the problem I'm having right now. The problem I'm having is that everyone knows that a failure like you exists now, and that you came from our family. This family, a family of lawyers, cannot tolerate having someone like you being known when we have so much pride we have to defend. Did you not notice there were some very professional guests at the wedding today? Some very esteemed members of the legal community that were there among the rest of the guests for Seth. Seth had it all lined up getting married today to someone like Jessica, and he was about to make it out of there with his whole career ready to go. Yet now...
And? What does all of that have to do with me?
What? Are you kidding me? Because of you and that speech today, Seth and Jessica's wedding is going to be called off today.
Oh, so that's what you're really upset about? Well, don't worry, because it's not about to be. It's already called off, Mom.
What? What did you say?
But don't think it's happening because everyone here now knows about me existing. It's because of the way you and Dad insult everyone who never passes the bar exam on their first try, like you were doing to me before cutting ties to me. And you want to know something crazy about that? Jessica's father also happened to not pass his bar exam on his first try, meaning you both should be feeling the same way about him now too, right?
That can't be true.
Everyone in that room today was not appalled at me for existing, but at you and Dad for the way you treated me, and treated others as well. Jessica's father was even saying he couldn't be bothered with scum like you anymore once he's heard about that. So in other words, this has all happened because of yours and Dad's behavior.
You're lying.
I'm not lying about this, Mom. The only reason you're wanting to blame me for all of this is because that's the easiest thing to do, right? Blame me for all your problems and then you never have to take responsibility for anything. Well, now everyone knows about how you treated me like trash and that you only see me as a failure and as a disgrace to your family just because I failed the bar exam one time. I'm betting that now the family's reputation of being very compassionate lawyers is seen as a farce, all because you treated one of your sons the way you did. It's only natural now that Jessica and her family would want nothing to do with all of you. This is all the result of your guys' own actions, so stop trying to blame someone else for them.
The reason I've been treating you like that is because you're a failure.
All right then, what about Jessica? If she were to make a mistake after marrying into your family, would you be kind and understanding of her?
I would at least go a little bit softer on her.
But you would still treat her worse than any self-respecting parent should, right?
No, I wouldn't. And why are you even asking me a question like that anyway? Unlike you, Jessica would never make the kind of mistakes you have.
It doesn't matter if she would or wouldn't. I just wanted to hear from you whether you would be kind to her or not, and from what you said, you made it sound as though you'd still be unfair and awful to her.
Enough of this already, Dalton. I see now that talking to you about all of this is a complete waste of my time. I'll go and talk with Jessica myself about this, and explain to her that she shouldn't hang out with piles of trash like you. And then, once I have her cut ties to you, you'll have no more friends, and nobody else to call family. And right there is the life of a failure like you deserve. Jessica, all of that about having the wedding and marriage canceled was a joke, right? Well, after hearing that from you, I've really put some thought into everything. This wedding is supposed to be about you and Seth, right? Yet it's all been about Dalton this whole time. I understand that things may not have gone as planned there, and I am very sorry for that. So please, let's just forget about everything that had to do with Dalton and focus on your big day with my son.
That wasn't a joke. Did you really think I was joking when I said to everyone that this wedding was over with?
What? Of course I did. Why would you ever want to give up this beautiful wedding you have here? With my son, of all people.
I can't believe this. Let me make myself very clear here. I would rather live the rest of my life as a single girl than have to marry into such a disgusting family like yours.
Jessica? I can't believe you would say something like that about us. That must be Dalton's bad influence getting into your head, right? That has to be. I'm telling you, Jessica, you shouldn't be judging our family based off only what a disgrace has told you about us.
Then why did you judge Dalton based off of one failed exam? You went and blamed him for not passing it the first time without even thinking about why that could have happened to him, right?
Jessica, I know that you are Seth's wife, but you cannot talk about me like that, okay?
Why not? You seem to think it was okay to talk about Dalton that way. He is one of my most dearest friends, and having to hear stories from him about the way you treated him broke my heart. Wasn't he your son? How can you say and do things like that to your own son? And all those times I saw Seth today making fun of Dalton alongside you guys? What a joke. The moment I started to realize that he was just as bad as both you and your husband have been, I started to lose my feelings for him, and that's why I'm going to be divorcing Seth.
No, Jessica.
And no matter what else you try and say to me about this, my decision is final. I am going to divorce Seth, one way or another.
I don't get it, Jessica. Why do you care so much more about someone like Dalton than you do your own husband and family? He's nothing more than a failed law student.
Because Dalton was the one who saved me. Him and I first met with one another when we were studying abroad over in the UK. I had no clue who anyone really was over there yet, and one night while I was on the subway, I started to get harassed by a group of guys. When I got off at the next stop, trying to escape them, they came after me and threw me to the ground. But just before they could do anything to me, Dalton came around the corner and told them all to screw off. And when some of them wouldn't, he pushed them down and told them to get up and run with him. If it wasn't for him coming to my aid then, who knows what those men would have done to me in that subway. Ever since that day, him and I have been best friends, and I have never felt so close to someone before in my life like him. And as for that one bar exam he failed, who cares? It was his first try, and he still had plenty more chances after that to try again and pass. It's not some kind of a crime to fail an exam. So how about you stop treating him like he's some kind of a criminal and lay off?
You might not be aware of this, Jessica, but in our family lies plenty of highly praised lawyers that the state count on for justice. And when someone like Dalton chooses to fail at their first attempt at the bar exam like that, it's the same thing as him committing a crime to our family. That is why in my family's eyes, our treatment of him was just.
Is that so? Then I guess there really is no point in trying to reason with you anymore. I have another plan up my sleeve though for you, so don't worry. Do you remember who the head of the law firm is that Seth has been working for?
Huh? That would be your dad, right? I met with him when Seth first went and started working for him there.
That's right.
So, what does that have to do with me?
I went and spoke with my father about all of this earlier. He's going to receive an official notification soon from the firm, but it seems like Seth is going to be let go now and won't be allowed to work for my father again.
What? That can't be true. Your dad is a very prestigious man, and his firm is known globally for working in international affairs. Seth being able to work under him is a big deal for our family as a whole.
Considering what a lot of the other lawyers here with my family today said about Seth, him continuing to work under my father would be a major downside to his law firm's reputation. My father is now planning on holding a major meeting soon, where he will not only announce that Seth and I will be getting a divorce, but that Seth will also be let go from his current position.
No, you can't let that happen to him. Seth is a very young and strong lawyer, and after a few years of working with your dad, he was planning to go independent.
Well, thankfully, him being let go will help accelerate his plans of going independent, right? Sounds like a win-win situation to me.
No way! But Seth doesn't have the experience he needs to go independent. Please, Jessica, go and ask your dad to reconsider what he's doing here.
I'm sorry to say this, but that's not going to help anything. When it comes to my father, once he's made his mind up about something and someone, it cannot be changed. And when it comes to what you said and did to my dear friend Dalton, a man that my father also happens to respect, you really sealed your son's fate. Neither one of us are going to forgive you for all of that now.
Jessica?
Now, before you cause any more problems like you've already caused today, give up and accept what's going to happen.
But I married into this family of very prestigious lawyers, which means that I can't give up. I have to protect this family's name by saving Seth's marriage and career.
I mean, I guess you don't have to give up then. The outcome is going to remain the same for you and Seth anyway. Anywho, from now on, please never text or call me again. If you'd like to talk to me, please go through my father, and I'll promise I'll respond to you then. Since we are all lawyers here, we all know just how important it is to have a good lawyer during situations like these, right?
No, Jessica, wait! Seth's career and his life! Ever since that wedding, our lives have all gone to hell for us. And as for Seth, he is completely out of it ever since being told that Jessica wants to divorce him. How dare you do something like this to us, after we went and cut ties to you, and I told you to stay away from the wedding. Do you feel satisfied with what you've done with us now?
Hello again, Mom. You're making it sound like all of that was my plan from the start. Let me just remind you that all of this was your doing and that I was just playing along with your game. If you hadn't said all those things about me and acted the way you did at your son's wedding, none of this would have had to happen to you guys. All I did was show up to a wedding that I was invited to by my friend who just so happened to be Seth's bride. And when I gave that speech, all I said was that Seth was my brother and that it was nice to see him again after so many years. I never once said anything about how you went and disowned me and for what reasons. You guys went and caused a scene right after that, which led to everyone finding out about your bad reputations. And that's all.
Always making crap up like that. You haven't changed one bit, have you? If only you had just left the wedding like I told you to, then my family wouldn't be having to go through hell right now.
You haven't changed one bit either, Mom. Still acting like a child, thinking that everything is about you and that family. Did you still think that by talking down to me like you did at the wedding, I'd be willing to actually listen to you? Maybe that's exactly what you expected to happen, considering how you treated me before and during my bar exam.
I was doing what I had to as your mother and as a part of this family.
And you think that gets you a cookie or something, treating me like you did? It sounds right now like you wish to be thanked for the way you raised me.
You should be thanking us for what your dad and I did for you.
Really, Mom? Then you must have forgotten completely what you'd done to me back then. Whenever my grades were bad in school, you know what you guys did. You would take my head and dunk it in a bucket of water repeatedly. And when my mock exam scores were not high enough for you guys, you'd force me to go without barely any food for a week. You guys also never allowed me to get a part-time job like all my friends were doing. And you'd never even let me hang out with anyone because you wanted me to lock myself in my room all day and study. All of that pressure led to me getting really stressed, and that led to me developing a few stomach ulcers. I told you about how the doctor said that to me and that I needed some time to rest. Yet you complained that I was a bad son and needed to work even harder. I know I failed that bar exam the first time because of the insane pressure you and Dad put on me. You can't blame me for not passing an exam that was treated like the decider between life and death in our family. I was stressed beyond belief, and halfway through the exam I broke my pencil with my grip because I was so afraid of what had happened after. I failed that first exam because of the way you and Dad and everyone in the family treated me. I won't thank you for any of that.
So you're still going to blame me for failing that exam?
Guess what, Mom? A year after you and Dad both chewed me out and disowned me, I went and took the exam again. And when I did, I passed it.
No way. You weren't able to do that when you were with us. You should have been able to do it under our guidance. That must mean you just got lucky. Don't act like you passing had anything to do with us getting rid of you.
Do you have any idea how tough things were for me after you guys forced me onto the streets? I had to go out and find work, and work close to 60 hours a week, all so that I could make ends meet for myself. I actually had way less time than I did at your house to study because of that. But I was able to pass the exam still, and do you know why that was? Because I was finally able to study at my own pace without having you and Dad screaming at me in my right and left ears.
I doubt that. You just got lucky, Dalton. Nothing about studying at your pace should have allowed you to pass the exam.
What would you know about the exam and studying for it anyway, Mom? You just married into a family of lawyers and have been a housewife the whole time. How come you always talk about how you're some kind of lawyer as well when you've never worked as one or even studied to become one? You're nothing more than Dad's housewife.
I'm still married to a very powerful lawyer, though, right? Which means I hear about his work all the time. And without me supporting him at home, he'd never be the man that he is today.
Sure. Whatever you say, Mom. By the way, did I ever mention to you my current job? Right now, I'm working as a corporate lawyer for this very large company. As you might have heard from Jessica already, I first met her in London while I was over there studying. I was actually there studying to get my international law license, and I passed that exam as well. From there, I worked as an international lawyer for some time alongside her father, and after a couple years, I then started working as a corporate lawyer for a very massive multinational company. But you haven't seen me bragging about all of that, have you? And that's because I'm nothing like you, Dad, or Seth, and don't give a crap about status.
No way. How? How could someone like you end up becoming so successful? Dalton, if you really are working in such a high-level field, you can be a part of this family again. And since I'm allowing you to be with us again, could you please help Seth get a job at that company you're in? If you were able to have the chance to start working for a company as large as the one you've told us about, I'm sure he'd feel better about what all happened. And if you're worried about whether or not he has the experience to work with you, I can vouch for him.
Are you serious? Now you want me to be a part of your family again? Wow. I never want to see any one of you ever again, Mom. I may be your biological son and all, but you guys were the ones that went and abandoned me. I really cannot understand how the tables have turned just like that. Now you're wanting my help with Seth? No, thank you.
But he's your brother. Are you really just going to abandon him now?
You really think I want to hear that from the person who forced me out of the family over a single failed exam?
Because at the time I thought you'd become a failure.
Yes, I'm aware of that, after all the times you went and called me both worthless and a disgrace. But now that you're asking for help from a failure like me, doesn't that make you a failure as well?
I don't care if you or anyone else calls me a failure for asking this. I just need you to help Seth get his life back.
If this is what's led to his whole life being ruined, then I guess that means he was never cut out to be a lawyer, Mom. Now, don't ever talk to me again, please. Goodbye forever.
Dalton! Wait!
I was able to get that divorce from Seth with no real trouble at all.
Congratulations, Jessica. That's wonderful news.
You helped me with a lot of the paperwork for that divorce as well, so I have to thank you for all of that. I appreciate what both you and my father did for me.
I was actually asked by your father if I'd like to come back and work with him full-time again, but I had to tell him that I'm very happy with my current job. Maybe I'll consider going back to him if one day I'm let go by my company or something.
What are you saying, Dalton? No company would ever let go of such an excellent lawyer as you.
Thanks for saying that. Anyway, I'm really sorry for all the trouble my family ended up causing yours. Had I never went and attended your wedding, none of this would have ever had to happen, and you would still be married.
I thought I told you this already, Dalton. This marriage both myself and Seth agreed to was only done for Seth and your family's sake, it seemed. Seth never really loved me for me, and was only really wanting to be my husband so that he could have a 100% chance of moving up in my father's law firm. Back when I first started to even go out with him, all his parents would ask about is my father, and the kind of opportunities he could give Seth.
But you at least felt some sort of love for Seth, right?
Maybe a little bit. But even if that was really love that I felt, the moment I saw your parents and Seth insulting you with my own eyes, those feelings were gone. So please, don't worry about what happened with my marriage. It was all going to become a disaster someday anyway.
Thank you, Jessica. I've been wanting to ask you this then, or rather confirm this. Are you still going to be my best friend?
What? Of course I will, Dalton.
A few days after having lost his new wife Jessica to divorce, Seth tried to get back out in the world and find a new job at another firm. At first, it sounded like he really had some newfound energy and that he was really confident that he'd be able to find some work somewhere. But after being told off time and time again, he started to lose hope. Seth finding a job was never going to happen for him anywhere around this town, considering that all of the law firms heard about what happened, so none of them would take him. This caused him to once again lose any motivation to work and go out, and now he spends all his time in his room, back home with his mom and dad. My mom, on the other hand, hates having him around the house all the time doing nothing at all, and will get into arguments with him at least 3 times a day over it. The house ended up becoming such a terrible place with this unbearable atmosphere that my dad stopped going home to them after he finished work. I haven't really talked to any of them since that last chat I had with my mom before blocking her, but what one of my distant cousins told me, my dad is thinking of divorcing my mom and kicking her out of that house. I'm not sure what he'll end up doing with Seth after he kicks her out of his house, but I'm going to assume he'll be kicking him out as well. As for myself, I've been continuing my work after that incident and have a lot more energy now than I had before. And with Jessica having gone and ended her marriage with Seth, we still have plenty of time to see one another and go out quite often to see movies together or just grab a drink. We're even planning a trip back to the UK again to go and visit our old school there and some of our old friends from over in London. We're both really looking forward to it, and I hope we can take this trip sooner rather than later.
Nancy, can you arrange all of these materials instead of me today? Lexi, where are you right now? You should be at your desk doing your own work right now. Huh? Who do you think you are talking to me in that sort of a tone? Right now, I'm outside the office meeting with some people, so I'm asking you, who seems to be doing nothing else right now, to get that work done for me. I don't have time to handle all of your work, though. I have a lot of tasks that I need to complete myself, as well as a lot of things that I need to memorize by the end of the day. I only just came back to the HQ after spending 15 years working at one of the regional offices. Do not talk back to me. I could have you sent back to that regional office with the snap of my fingers, if that's what you want to happen. There's no way someone like you would be able to do that to me. Well then, that must mean you don't know a thing about me. The only thing I know about you is that you have a lot of accomplishments when it comes to this department. That's right. I'm the ace of this department, after all. And that's not all. My father happens to be the department manager of this department. So what do you think? Do you finally understand who I am? I could have trash like you thrown in the garbage out back with a single word to my father. I can see that. But I only just came back to the headquarters, and I was really looking forward to enjoying my time here. So could you please not threaten me by sending me back out to that regional office? Then you listen to what I have to say and do it. A 15-year regional office worker like yourself is not going to be my slave. And that's about the only use one could get out of an old hag like you. After one completes their training, they become a full-time employee here, right? That means I have to start working on getting you trained up before you can be let off the leash and allowed to roam this office building. Anyhow, before I get back inside, you better have those documents arranged for me, as well as have my desk completely cleaned. If perhaps you are not finished with all of that by the time I get back inside, then tomorrow you'll no longer have a position within the headquarters of this company. Understood. I'll do what I can for you to the best of my abilities. When exactly will you be coming back inside? We'll see. This business discussion I'm having with some of the other employees might be a long one, so I'm not sure yet. It must be really difficult for you to always be taking so many trips outside the office, right? Well, considering I'm the ace of the department, I have no choice.
Nancy, how were things for you today, being back at the company HQ after so many years? Have you gotten used to everything here again?
Hello, Lionel. Thank you for asking. I think it'll still take me more time to get used to how everything runs here now after 15 years have gone by.
Oh, is that right? Well, if there's ever anything you're worried about or having some difficulties with, please let me know, and I'll try to help you out. Having you back at the company HQ has really helped me relax a bit.
Thank you so much for letting me know that. Sorry if me asking you anything would seem selfish of me. I promise to do my best to tackle all of my problems before I have to ask you for help.
You don't have to be so diligent with your work right now, here. You've done a lot for my company in the past, and that was all enough for me to appreciate you. So please, feel free to take things easy from now on, and let me know when you need my help. Also, this doesn't just include you, either.
Yes, I understand that.
How did your son end up faring out there?
Thank you for asking. Because of the much more quiet and clean countryside, he was able to feel a lot better and grow up nice and strong.
I knew there had to be something off about the city air that was causing him so much trouble.
That's right. The fact that I was having to take him to the hospital every other week due to him getting sick was really difficult on us all. But him being so much better now is still a little bit unbelievable for me.
Living in the countryside is a far better place for a child's health than here in the big city. I'm very happy we were able to make that all work out for you.
Thank you. Luckily, we were able to get me transferred out to that regional office in time.
When you first asked me about wanting to do that, I was shocked, but your reasoning for it was something that I could never say no to.
And thank you for helping me through all of that. That was the biggest help I've ever received before. Because of what you did for me, my once really sick boy who could never stay in school due to always being in the hospital is really close to graduating high school now.
Is that right? He's already at that age then?
What do you think my son told me when I asked him what he'd like to do after he graduates from college?
Hey, come on now. He's a much younger man than me, so I could never guess what a boy his age would want to be doing after college. I just hope that whatever his answer was, he's aiming for what he wants to do and not what others have told him to do. That's why I work so hard for the sake of all children, so they can live in a world where they can make their own choices and not be limited by everything around them.
That's a good point. I hope that I'm doing the same thing for my son as well. If things were to stay the same way they are now, that wouldn't be good, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, considering where I'm at right now in this department, there's something I'm a little bit worried about. So, if you wouldn't mind, actually, I'd like to tell you about it right now. Nancy, are you available right now? I'm sorry, I have a lot on my plate right now, so can we do this all later today? No way, no way. You cannot be putting me on the back burner for anything else right now. I should be the most important than anything else in your life, and that includes your own work. Excuse me? Today, I had plans to go out and have a business meeting. Yes, I'm aware of that. Do you think you could go to that meeting for me? What? If you're wanting me to go to that for you, then why are you already out of the office right now? I thought you left your desk to go out and be at that meeting. A little bit of a minor business popped up that I need to deal with. No way. What do you think you're doing skipping out on a very important business meeting that you're supposed to be at today? Shut your mouth right now. That company isn't that big of a deal to me anyway, so what does it matter if I'm there for the meeting? Also, I thought that something like a business meeting would be some good experience for you, so I'm letting you handle it now. Who do you think you are preaching to me like that? You thank me right now for what I'm doing. But what you're doing is very rude to those customers. Listen, Nancy, do you still not understand just how scary of a person I really am? You have no rights, since you're the slave to me, to be telling me your opinions on the matter. Do as I've said. If you do not, I'll have you transferred back to that regional office you were at before. Or better yet, I'll have you fired. I don't care who you think you are. What you're saying is tyrannical. Anybody I do not like, I have fired. That's one of this company's rules now. Now, you stop acting like a jerk and remember that rule very well. Now you're just starting to speak a load of nonsense. Did you know that my father is on his way to becoming the top of this company? Now that you're aware of that, you'd better shut your mouth and get your crap together. So stop talking to me like you matter at all, and do as I've said by going to that meeting. That is the only choice you have now. All of those people at the meeting are nothing more than my puppets anyway. So you go there as my slave and learn from the rest of them how to behave. There's no way you can get away with acting like that. Starting today, your training period is all finished with, and you are now being transferred to the sales department, right? Yes, that's right. From here on out, I'm going to be putting in even more effort in order to make sure I don't let anyone down. What heart you have. Then would you please go and grab my coffee? I am your manager, after all. Wait, you're not my manager, or anyone's for that matter. I am the department manager's daughter, which makes me like a manager myself. I shouldn't even have to say something like this for you to be able to understand that. Understood? Make sure to put some milk in it for me. And I want whole milk. None of that skim crap. I'm going to make sure everyone else knows that they can use you as their servant. I allow it. Let me grab your coffee and bring it to you. Hold it right there, actually. I'm going to get everyone else's orders right now for you. Wait, but it doesn't seem like anyone else needs a coffee right now. Look, nobody is even standing up to ask for one. Are none of you going to listen to what I'm saying? You go and ask them all right now what kind of coffee they want. Stop that right now. I can see everyone is getting upset right now with how much you're yelling at all of them. Shut your gosh darn dang mouth right now. If you don't all listen to what I'm saying right now, I'm going to make things worse for everyone in this department. Unless things will only be made worse for yourself if you try anything. Huh? What the heck was that? Are you screwed in the head or something now? Not at all. I'm just being realistic. I can see by the way you're still acting that you have no idea how to control what kind of terrible words come out of your mouth. Terrible words? What the? I'll have you know that after I finished up with my training, I was placed in this department working with you. I already know about that. And now my official post in this department, or rather in this company, is the general manager. The general manager? When you say the general manager, you mean the man that stands above all the other managers in the company? That's right. What kind of a lie is that? If you're trying to trick me, how about you start with a more concrete lie? The fact that you thought I'd believe you just then goes to show just how crazy one becomes with age. I'm not sure everyone goes crazy with age, but what I've just told you is the truth, so you better start believing in it. Have a look at your emails right now and check. I'm sure that'll help you grasp what I'm saying. Then I guess I will take a look at my emails. Please and thank you. What? Is this serious? Thank you so much for doing as you were told and looking at your emails. As your new general manager, I'm going to try and do everything I can to support you. So please reciprocate that kind of support with me. You're higher up than my own father? And that seems to be the case now. And that means from now on, you better start calling me Mrs. Nancy, as that is a more fitting way to speak to your general manager. No way. Now, with me having become the general manager of the HQ, I think I'm going to have to start working on going through each department and seeing what things need to be improved. Starting with this one, the sales department. And from what I've seen so far, you of all people with your very rude behavior and horrible treatment of coworkers will need to be dealt with. Because of your actions thus far, I feel that the whole sales department is performing way below my standards, and that is not a good thing. So, as a way of showing you just how serious I am, I'm going to have you demoted so that the rest of this department can get back to work after having a fresh breath of air again. Why are you going to demote me? I'm the ace of this sales department. And I believe you being this so-called ace also needs to be looked at into a bit more thoroughly. Stop screwing around with me. You're only doing all of this to me because you hate me, right? As the general manager, I will not let my own emotions get in the way of the decisions I make. This is for the sake of the whole entire sales department and this whole entire company. I will not allow you to do this to me. But this is what the general manager has decided to do. So for some simple worker like you to say that you won't allow it means that you are openly welcome to being fired from your job, right? I think that you even becoming the general manager was a major mistake, and you should not be in that position at all. But me being made the general manager was a choice our higher-ups made. Then I'm going to have a word with all of them, and I'll have HR remove you from that position. That's impossible. Not even your father would be able to do such a thing to me. I know that. Listen to this. I happen to be on good terms with the CEO of this company, which means that whatever I say to him, he'll be more than happy to listen. And that means he'll take you out of that position and put an ace like me in it. No, is that so? Then please, by all means, give it your best shot. You're going to regret ever trying to take me down today. Mr. Lionel, I think you've made a massive mistake putting someone like Nancy in the position of being the general manager.
Ooh, what's this all about? Not even a hello or a how are you doing first?
I'm sorry. It's just that I cannot agree with that has been decided by the HR department.
Well, I'm sure something like that has really shocked you now, hasn't it? But it is true that she's been made the general manager of your department, as well as plenty of other departments in this office building. And now would you please be a good employee and go work together with her from now on?
But I'm saying that the choice HR made isn't okay.
And why are you saying that? Because I like to think someone as hardworking and knowledgeable as her is fit for that position. Back when she'd first started out working for this company, in this same building, as a matter of fact, years ago, she was one of the top employees here. And it wouldn't be crazy for me to say that she played a very major part in making this company what it is today.
You're lying right now.
And what makes you think that I'm lying right now?
Tell me, why would someone so important to this company be forced to go work out in the middle of nowhere at some small regional office for 15 years? This is all insane.
I see. So you don't seem to understand the kind of structure this company has when comparing our office to any other office.
What?
Well, so be it. You probably don't understand why she was working out there in the first place either. Nor do you have a reason to know about why.
There was a reason besides her just being a useless employee?
That's not a reason at all for why she went there. She has a son, and that son of hers used to have a very weak immune system. She was having to take her son to the hospital at least once a week, and that was a very tough thing for her to have to deal with. But even with all those visits to the hospital and to doctors, nothing ever got better for her boy. So as a kind of last resort, she decided that she needed to get her sick son away from the big city and out to the countryside where he could breathe clean air.
So that led her to going to that regional office?
That's exactly right. For the sake of her son, she came to me and asked for my help in getting herself transferred there so that she wouldn't have to worry anymore about his health. At that time, I was not yet the CEO and was just one of her bosses, but I made sure to do everything I could to talk with everyone above me about getting her transferred. We were actually already in the talks of having her made a manager at the time, which made the decision of helping her to get transferred all the more difficult for me.
What?
She was bound to become a manager here from the start, but she chose her family over her job, and we had to respect that. So in the end, I was helping her get away from the big city by talking with the CEO at that time.
Something like that actually happened?
And as for right now, although she'd been away from headquarters for 15 years, she was still the same hardworking, responsible woman I knew her to be. And that's why she was made the general manager. The only reason she came back here in the first place, by the way, was because her son started to get a lot better during those 15 years and is close to graduating from high school now. So not only is she the general manager here now, but soon she's gonna say goodbye to her son as he goes off to college, and she can put all her focus into her work. So what do you think, Lexi? Do you have any ridiculous complaints to make about this story?
No. I don't.
Also, when you were just talking about how her being from one of this company's regional offices makes her useless, I very much beg to differ. The regional offices are not in any shape or form a worse place to work than here. They all play major parts in the managing of this company and make sure that all of our customers are managed carefully and with respect. So I would like for you to get rid of that elite thinking you have there and respect all aspects of this company for me.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Now, you get back to work. I am a very busy man right now and need to get back to work myself.
So, for some reason, it really does seem that you're the general manager now. Did you have a nice chat with the CEO? Glad to hear that. You really had me worked up there for a second. But now that I've chatted with him, I know a few more things. Oh, and what could that be?
As long as I continue to put in the work I have been, I'll become a general manager like you soon, right? Now I have a real reason to be working here.
That's right. This company takes into account all the work that their employees put in and judge them fairly based off that.
What a great company this is.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Sure, you may be feeling good about things right now, but just know you are not in a very secure position.
Oh, and why do you think that?
Because I'm going to steal that position from you right away. I'm the ace of the sales department after all, and unlike you, I've been putting in all my effort at the HQ of this company. I might even become the general manager by next year.
I don't see how me having worked at a regional office and you having worked here all this time makes a difference, though. Now, what I'd like to talk about is why you think you can still consider yourself the ace of the sales department.
Huh? Are you trying to piss me off now? Do you have any idea how amazing all of my accomplishments in this department have been?
I understand that there have been a lot of achievements attained by this department.
Then what the heck are you talking about?
I'm talking about how it's unlikely that you're the one responsible for all of the accomplishments in this department.
What do you mean by that?
To be open with you, as the general manager now, I've been having a look through the history of the sales department and everything it's done. And after a couple of hours, I've realized that you've been taking all of the work your coworkers have been doing in that department and taking credit for it all.
What the hell? I would never do something like that. Stop saying things like that about me right now.
No matter what you have to say about this, it's no use. I've been investigating things further, and I've been talking with a lot of other employees in the sales department. And a lot of them got together and confessed to me all of the unacceptable things you've been doing here.
Those are all lies they're telling you. They're just trying to knock me down from the top because they don't like me being the ace.
And that's not true at all. I've been talking with them through all of the events. You steal all of the easy work from them and give them all of the work you find to be too difficult for you or a pain in the butt to complete.
That's wrong. I have not been doing any of that.
You really think I'm going to trust what you're saying to me now? Even I fell victim to that when you would force me to manage all of those documents for you, as well as clean up your workspace, right? Are you going to tell me that I misunderstood all of that as well?
That was all. That was me giving you experience doing different things.
Then what were all those threats about having me fired if I didn't complete everything for you on time? What a joke.
Sorry, I misspoke then, but I was never trying to force you to do all those things.
I'm not going to trust whatever you say anymore. Another thing, in this company, employees are paid for the work they do. So when you take credit for all of those other people's works, you were also taking the money they were owed for it.
Is that right?
Yes. So you're going to have to pay the company back however much you owe those other coworkers of yours.
Why do I have to do something like that now?
Because that money is only meant for the people that actually put in the work to complete those projects and is not meant for anyone else. Which means that later on, you'll be getting a few documents describing to you how much you owe the company back. Make sure you read all of those amounts carefully for me, please.
Do you seriously think you can go ahead and do something like that to me?
Of course I do.
All you are is a simple general manager, and the only ones that are able to do anything like get money from one of the employees and investigate them is the HR department.
That's right.
And that's too bad for you, because my father happens to be really good friends with everyone in that department. So when I go and have a word with him about what you're doing to me, he'll go and tell them to stop you and have all those documents thrown out.
Sure, I can see your father doing something like that.
My father will do anything for me to make sure that I move up in this company. Which means that after this, he's going to have you kicked out of that position, and then he can become the general manager, and I can take his position.
Oh, so you're going to let your father become the general manager instead of you?
I will. Him getting that position is a lot more realistic, and can happen much sooner. And then, I'll make you regret all of this BS you've been trying to shove on me.
I'm very sorry, but that's never going to happen.
What? So you're not going to surrender right now to me? We'll keep on trying to fight us then. Just know that it will be for nothing.
No, I'm not talking about trying to fight you guys.
Then what are you talking about?
Now that I think about it, you often leave the office to go out to meetings and such, right?
Yes. I work for sales after all, so it's a part of my job, right?
I found that very odd of you, though. You would always be forcing others to do all of your work for you, yet you still wanted to take the time to go out to those meetings?
What now? I happen to actually be working seriously over here, and that's why I'm seen as the ace of this department.
You've been working seriously? Then what's all of this about?
What is this picture?
This is a picture that someone I assume to be your friend posted on Instagram. A picture of them having a really fun time at an amusement park, right? And inside that picture, there's also you standing behind them. I took a look at when this was posted, and it just so happens they posted the picture during the middle of the day, on a work day. After looking a bit further into that time of day, I found that that's normally when you're out of the office at those so-called business meetings of yours, right?
That was taken on one of my days off, and she probably just posted the photo during the week when I was working.
I see. So that's what's happened here. But how come there are plenty of other photos on her account of you going out with her during the week? Are all of those pictures she took during your days off and just decided to post while you should be at work?
What? That's right.
I see. You really have some unique friends then, don't you?
What the hell, man? I can have whatever friends I want.
Of course you can, but something about all of this seems to be a bit off is all.
What's this?
This is you with your father having a fun time walking through a resort town. Seeing a father and his daughter getting along so well is such a wonderful sight. But this time it also comes with a very massive problem. This was taken at the time you were supposed to be away on a business trip, and your father so happened to use paid time off to go on this trip with you.
No, this is...
I don't recall you having to go to this resort town for a business trip, Lexi. What is going on here?
I just sometimes I will go and meet with my father.
In a resort town? Tell me, why, when you were supposed to be away on a business trip, nowhere close to a tropical resort town, were you able to meet with your father there?
I don't know why.
All right, then. Well, thank goodness this time you didn't have a terrible excuse for it. What I know for sure now is that you lied about going on that business trip and used the company payroll to go on a vacation with your father. And your father, being the department manager that he is, knew it was happening. Perhaps this was planned out by your father in the first place.
How do you have a picture like this?
Because you both have been under investigation for a very long time now. Always having to leave work for business meetings and business trips. But all of your achievements only came from stealing other people's work. Plenty of people started to realize things were off about you and your father, even before I came back here.
Crap!
Your father has already confessed to everything we've shown him. That is why now, both you and your father are being fired. That's why I was saying it would be impossible for either one of you to become the general manager.
No way! I'm being fired! Can something else be done about this?
This is what you both get. Tomorrow you will no longer have any position within this company, and the same thing goes for your father.
Those two finally confessed to everything they'd done.
I see, that took a long time, didn't it?
Well, it took a lot of time for sure, but we had loads of evidence to show, and after they both had a look at everything, they opened up. Still, though, I can't believe they did all those things knowing how easily they could lose their jobs over them. Thank goodness you came back here and were able to take care of them for me before things could get any worse. Although I was hoping that you, being the general manager, would have been the warning they needed.
Good point. And I wish they would have realized how close to the edge they were walking as well. Now, Lionel, about my son. The answer he gave me was that he wants to work for this company after he graduates from college.
Oh, now that's something that really warms my heart to hear.
He said that he wants to show his appreciation for the company that helped him out when he was younger. And that is why before he enters this company in a few years, I have to make sure that all of the toxic and nasty employees in this company are taken care of.
I see. So before your son gets here, you want to make this place have a much more productive and safe environment.
Also, I want this to become a company he can be proud to work for.
Sure, and that's something I totally agree with.
Which is why from here on out, I'm going to be rooting through each and every department, making all of them the kind of place I'd want my son to work. The very next day, both Lexi and her father tried coming back to the office, pleading that they both wanted one more chance to show that they really did care about their jobs there. However, the lady at the front desk would not allow them in, and said that if they did not leave the front lobby soon, she would have security called on them and have them both walked out. But neither of them heeded her warnings, and as they stood there banging on her desk, as well as kicking the door to try and get inside the offices, 3 security guys came in from the front entrance and told them to get out. Lexi's father knew there was no point in trying to fight them and walked out with one of the guards. However, Lexi was a different story entirely. At first, she fought with them using her bag as a sort of weapon and shield. However, that soon turned into her being grabbed by one of the guards and the other putting handcuffs on her. And just as they were going to start walking her out, she broke free from their hold and ran out the door, still handcuffed, and towards a few of her co-workers who were out having a smoke break. But just before she could make it to them and start begging for their help, a 4th guard decked her from the side, knocking her out for a full minute and putting an end to her rampage for good. Her father would end up taking her to the hospital due to some damage being taken to her head, and there she was told she suffered a decent concussion. After having been fired and told not to ever come near the company's HQ ever again, Lexi tried her best to find another job working somewhere else. However, not many companies in the city were willing to even give her an interview. The story of why she was fired, as well as what happened the day after being fired, has spread all over the city, and not a single company owner wanted to hire her. And the same situation can be assumed for her father as well. So they were both stuck being unemployed members of the society for a little bit. And not too long after that, their household finances went straight down the drain and has not recovered since. But things were only made worse when mail came to their door with the documents stating the amount of money Lexi had to owe the company after misusing both payroll and having taken the money for other people's work. She was able to borrow some money in order to pay the company back, but that forced her into some seriously muddy water, now having debt with a loan shark. Because of that, Lexi's father went out and found himself a part-time job working for a car wash to try and help her pay that loan shark off as soon as possible, while also paying the bills. However, Lexi complained and complained to her mother and father about how she could never sink so low as to work part-time, and that led to her parents kicking her out of the house. I heard that she sat out front of their house for some time crying and screaming that they were the worst, and that they should not be able to abandon their own daughter like that. However, neither one of her parents listened to her screams, and nobody else in the neighborhood wanted to hear it, leading to them all calling the police on her. This then led to her running off with whatever thing she could take, and by the time the police showed up to see what was going on, Lexi was long gone. And guess what happened to her soon after that? She started to work in the city's red light district, doing things that women like me care not to explain. She was also able to find herself an apartment out there, although it was said to be very run down and out of shape for most people to actually want to live in. However, for her, it was her only option besides becoming homeless and never having a chance at doing the kind of work she was in then. But only after a month after hearing about all of that, I heard she was fired from working there, as her rotten character was something no man wanted a part of, not even those that liked to be dominated. After that, she started looking for work anywhere she could find it, but a terrible cycle of being hired and then fired started for her. And in the end, she had to go to the one place she never wanted to, and that's working part-time at a car wash with her father, who no longer wants any part of her. But the both of them being in some pretty steep debt knew that it would be easier to pay off if they all worked together. And so, just like that, Lexi's father let her back into their home under one condition, and that was that she worked at least 80 hours a week. Right now, that family is having to fight to stay alive by taking on more and more part-time work, and that's left me feeling a little bit bad for the wife of such a hopeless family. Thankfully, my situation has been a lot better, and I mean a lot better than the situation Lexi and her father ended up in, as I'm now working my butt off cleaning up this company inside and out. And with the help of my CEO, and all of those who really appreciate me getting rid of toxic people like Lexi and her father, all of the departments here will be reorganized and cleaned up before my son gets here in 4 years. I really do hope that when that time comes, I will have left quite the mark on the company and will be able to take things easier letting my son do all the more difficult tasks instead of me.
Sarah, do you have a minute to talk with me about something?
Oh, hi, Mom. What are you wanting to talk about?
Well, let's start with this. How have things been for you recently? Have you been doing all right over there?
Yes, so far work has been going really well for me, and I'm having a fun time in the new office building that was built. And both my husband and son are doing good too. Just last week, we went to a water park and everything, so actually we're all pretty tired out and taking it easy. How about you, Mom? How have things been going for you?
Yeah, I'm also doing pretty well on my end.
That's good. But what's wrong with you right now, though? You seem a little down. Are you wanting me to move back home with you yet because you're lonely? I'm sure it's tough having to be on your own again and all, right? Both my husband and my son said you are more than welcome to come over here and live with us. We have that spare bedroom and everything still open that I told you you can make yours earlier.
No, actually. I'm quite alright right now, living on my own still. And the thing is, I don't really want to leave this house at all. I still have Jet living close by to me, so I'll be alright. But thank you for that offer.
Are you sure? Well, if you are ever feeling like you need to move out of that house and in with us, just let me know. I can have the whole house ready for you within an hour.
Alright, thank you, Sarah.
Anyway, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about? You still seem pretty down about something.
Oh, that's right. Well, I feel really bad having to mention this to someone like you, considering that this had to do directly with you. And well, this has to do with my monthly allowance.
Okay. You're wanting to talk about the money that Jet and I are working together to send you every month. What's up with it? Do you feel as though you might need a little more from us this month?
I really am happy that the both of you are sending me money every month, since I don't have much in terms of Social Security, but $3 is a bit,
$3? What do you mean?
You know what I'm talking about, right? That's the amount of money you've been sending to me every month for the past few years now. I'm not trying to tell you how much to send me when it comes to my monthly allowance from you. And I am very thankful that the both of you have been willing to do this for me. But $3 is a bit... Well, don't you find that a bit mean? I have been trying my best to work with the money I get from my Social Security as well. But $2,000 a month from the government isn't really doing it for me.
Wait a second, Mom. Hold on. I have no idea what you mean by that.
When it comes to the amount you send me, that's based off of how you view me, right? In other words, I'm only worth around $3 to you, right?
That's not true at all, Mom. Why would you ever even say that?
Then could you please just tell me why you're sending me such a small amount of money each month? This small of an amount doesn't even make any sense. I can't even afford to feed my dog with this kind of insignificant money. Are you saying that I'm worth less than dog food to you? Maybe you'd be better off not sending me any money at all from now on.
Would you please calm down there, Mom? Along with the help of Jet, we've been sending you $3,000 every month, right?
What?
If all I was going to send you was $3, then you're right about the fact that I shouldn't even send you any money at all.
That's right. But this is what Jet has been telling me every month he sends me the money. That you're only willing to give me $3.
Then there must be something he's up to, right? Because it has not been me wanting to only give you $3 a month.
What do you think he'd be doing then?
Well, perhaps he's taking the money I give to him to send to you and using it all on himself. Because I've been making sure to send him $2,000, and he fills in that other $1,000 before he puts it into your bank account. Or at least, that's what he should have been doing this whole time.
Hey, come on now. Don't say something so nasty about your brother. What would make you think that Jet could ever be taking the money that's meant for me and using it on himself?
But if that's not what he's doing every month, what else could it be? What else could be happening to that money I've been giving to him?
I wouldn't want for the police or anything to get involved in all of this, Sarah.
The police are not going to get involved in all of this, Mom. This is something within the family, and if he's really been stealing the money I've been giving to him to give to you, the police won't care.
Ever since your father, it has just been the four of us working together to make this family work, right? I don't want to learn about how your older brother's been taking your money from you and not sending it to me.
But for the time being, if we don't look into what he's been doing with the money, we'll never know and nothing will change. I've been sending Jet that money for him to send to you because his account is through the same bank as yours, so it was easier to go that route. Maybe I'll have to take a look and see what's been going on with that money.
I'm really sorry about this, Sarah. Because of me, you're no longer trusting Jet anymore. And I'm sure you'll tell your younger brother about this too.
You are not to blame for anything, Mom. I think the only person to blame here is Jet. I never thought that he'd be willing to lie to his family about the money he's been taking from me to use on himself. Maybe he's going through something serious right now and doesn't want to bother any of us with it. But that wouldn't make any sense because this has been going on for years, you said. So that would mean...
Calm down, Sarah, there. Please.
Mom, I'm going in to look into all of this for you right now.
Sarah, next month is Mom's birthday, so are we all going to be heading back to her house to celebrate? I don't have any plans for that day yet and was thinking of going there with Jet and all, but if you plan to be going home to her as well, then let's plan something together.
I forgot about that. I think we'll be heading back to her place to celebrate as well, my husband and son as well.
I see. Then that'll mean this is the first time in a long time that all four of us get to spend time together again. Plus with your family around as well. This is gonna be lots of fun for us all. I can't wait.
Right. That's right.
It's gonna be Mom's 70th birthday, right?
Now that you mention it, it will be her 70th birthday. We'll have to make sure to do something really nice for her then.
It still blows my mind that ever since Dad passed away, Mom has been all on her own raising the three of us. All I can say to that is I really appreciate her for all she's done.
I feel the same way, Curtis.
I've been thinking, since both you and Jet have been sending her money each month, I thought I should jump in and help out with that. Maybe I'll give her some money as well as her present to show that I've been thinking about her as well.
You don't have to worry about that. You have a lot going on in your own life with work as it is, right? So just focus on getting your life back together for now, please.
That's totally right. Having the company which hired me go bankrupt like that overnight, and having to spend so much time looking for work without making any income? But I've made it past that slump in my life now and am working full-time again. Things have balanced out for me again, and I'm actually making decent money now. So I think it's time that I start sending Mom some money every month as well. Maybe I'll start by giving her $5,000 for her birthday and then a bit more each month after that.
Is that right?
Yes. And as for Mom's 70th birthday, I had a few things in mind for what I'd like to do for her.
Well, I'm sure she'll be happy to see whatever you have in store for her. But, Curtis, before we talk any further about that, can I speak to you about something off topic?
Huh? What's that?
When it comes to the money Jet and I have been sending Mom, I got a message from Mom herself about it, and she told me she was and has been only receiving $3 a month from me.
What? But I spoke with Jet about this a while ago, and he said the both of you together are sending her $3,000 a month as her allowance.
I'm aware of that. So, I went ahead and looked into what was all going on there, and that led to me finding out something I'm having a very hard time believing.
What did you find out?
It looks as though Jet has been stealing my money from me every time I send it to him to send to Mom.
What? You're lying, right?
I'm sure you're having just as hard of a time believing this as I am, but I can try to explain everything to you in a lot more detail.
Okay.
Hey, Jet. I have something to ask you about the money we've been sending Mom every month.
Yeah? What's up?
Mom told me that she's only been getting $3 from us ever since we started to send her money. Is that really the truth?
Oh, you're wanting to talk about that? So she went and told you about that then?
What do you mean by that?
I didn't want to tell you this, but Mom has a very hard time saving any of the money she gets. It's pretty bad, actually.
Really?
And because of that, she started to get into a lot of debt from all her needless spending. And due to that, I've had to use the money we're meant to send to her every month to pay off that debt for her. And that then leaves her with only $3 from us every month.
You're lying. I can't believe something like that. It was Mom of all people that told the three of us, you, me, and Curtis, to never ever get into debt no matter what. To hear that that person has been getting herself into debt?
I think that ever since the three of us moved out of her house, she finally had time to do whatever she wanted with herself. And, well, the feeling of becoming free like that might have been too much for her to handle.
Are you serious right now? If that's really the case, then please tell me where she's been spending all that money at, and who she's been in debt with. You have to know what company or bank she's been borrowing all that money from, right?
You don't have to think about that right now. All you need to be doing is sending me the money that I can give to her each month, and I'll do what needs to be done with it.
You're lying. You have to be lying right now.
Mom is a changed person. She started to falter when it came to money, and now she's in massive debt. She's at the point now where she'll lie to us all about it because she's so ashamed of herself. And the reason she told you such a lie was to get you to come and question me instead of her. Just stop listening to whatever she lies to you about and only trust me.
How could you say such awful things about our mom, who has done so much for us?
I know more about her than either you or Curtis know, but she's still our mom, and we have no other choice but to take care of her. For the time being, please stop listening to and believing in her lies. You and I are siblings, and we have to work together to fix her debt.
All right, I get it. I won't bother with you anymore. Just know I'm not going to let you have your way any longer.
I told you to stop trusting whatever Mom's told you about this. Just listen to and do as I've said. It's that simple. Hey, Sarah, about this month's allowance for Mom?
What about it?
Normally you'd have that money to me by the end of the month, right? Do you think you could start sending me that money for her a bit sooner? I would like it if you started to get that money to me by the 15th every month, all right?
Why by then?
Because the day that the credit card Mom has been overusing wants us to make payments on it is the 15th of every month. So I was thinking it would be nice if you started to send me that money by the 15th so that I can pay things off for her right away.
You want this month's money from me that soon, though? Before, me sending money at the end of the month was never a problem for you, right?
I told you about this last week, right? Mom is spending way too much money all the time.
But look, we're sending her $3,000 a month, right? She also has her Social Security as well. That means she's getting close to $5,000 a month. And if that's not enough for her, then she must be living really fancy or something, right? I don't think Mom is the type of woman to do any of that, especially at her age.
I'm just as shocked as you are. Who would have thought that Mom, of all people?
So you're just going to take the excuse of Mom using all that money to the grave with you then, huh?
What else could the reason for this be? And what are you even talking about right now?
Well, whatever. You need the money by the 15th now? Well, that's fine by me.
All right, well, if it's fine with you, then I ask that you send me the money soon. This is all tough on me too, but as long as we have each other, we can make all of this work for Mom. Hey, Sarah, it's past the 15th now, right? Why haven't you sent me your half of Mom's allowance yet? Mom's gonna be in huge trouble if you don't send it to me right now.
What are you going on about right now?
I'm talking about the money you need to send me. We made a promise that you'd get that money to me before the 15th, right? Why hasn't any money appeared in my bank account yet?
It's not like that really even matters to you.
Huh? You promised me that we'd work together to take care of Mom with an allowance, right? You acting like that money doesn't matter anymore would really upset Mom.
Don't worry, Jet. Mom is very happy right now.
What are you going on about?
I already went and sent Mom my half of her allowance for this month.
Huh? But I still haven't seen any of that money come into my account.
Because I went and handed her the money in person this time.
You handed that money to her in person? Sarah, you live really, really far away from Mom's house, right?
Every once in a while, I'll go home to see Mom, and I thought that this last time I'd bring that money along for her. In other words, that means Mom won't be upset with me now, so you can relax now. And I've been thinking, from here on out, I think I'll just hand her my half of the money in person every month. That will give me another reason to go out and see Mom's smiling and happy face more often.
But weren't you sending that money to me to then send to her because you live so far away and don't go through the same bank as her and I? I'm a bit worried about how much stress coming to Mom's house each month will bring you. That's why it's better you just send me her money every month.
You really don't have to worry about me anymore, Jet. This is all to help Mom, so I really do not mind.
But with handing her that money directly, she's gonna waste it all almost immediately, and none of it will go towards paying off her debt.
Actually, I asked Mom about all the debt she's supposedly been in. She told me she's not in any debt and became a little irritated by me asking. In other words, that means you lied about it, right?
Are you gonna believe what Mom is telling you over me?
Well, duh.
I see. That's really unfortunate then. In other words, that means that Mom has gone and corrupted you too now. Well, if that's the lifestyle you're wanting to support, I won't say anything else about it. But I'm gonna have a word with Curtis about all this. I cannot allow for someone like him to be taken advantage of by Mom as well. So I need to explain everything to him before she does.
Who do you think you are?
I am the oldest sibling and I have to be there for him to make sure he's safe. I'm really sorry to have to do this, but I'm gonna make sure he knows not to ever talk to you or Mom ever again. Which means from here on out, don't you ever talk to myself or him ever again, please.
Go ahead and tell him then.
Curtis? For Mom's next birthday, don't even bother coming home to her. Huh? Why can't I go home and see her? Because both Mom and Sarah have gone crazy, and I feel that they'll both be coming after you next to cause some problems. They've both gone crazy? Did you know that Mom has been really bad with her money and has been getting herself into a lot of debt now? I've been using the money from both myself and Sarah to help pay all of that off for Mom, but Sarah keeps on saying that Mom isn't in any debt and won't believe what I've told her, and right now the both of them are joining up to blame me for Mom never getting any money from us. I think they'll start to talk to you about that pretty soon too, and then Mom and Sarah will try and get you to start sending money to Mom so she can waste it all as well. You're saying Mom is going to try getting my money from me? I don't think someone like her could ever do that. But she will, because I'm telling you the truth. But hasn't it been you stealing the money this whole time? Curtis, what all did you hear about from Sarah? I've heard about everything, Jet. That's all lies she's made to make me look bad. Everything I just told you is the truth. I had a hard time believing what she told me about you at first. That's why I had a look at the account where I'd been saving up money for Mom's 70th birthday. Curtis! You were talking about this before, right? About how you wanted to go all out for Mom's birthday this year, and that's why we made that account together to save up for her present, right? But after hearing what all Sarah had told me, I went and had a look at the amount of money we'd saved up so far in that account. I was shocked when I found that there was only a couple dollars left. I had been putting in $1,000 a month yet. No! Wait! That was, Mom! How the hell would Mom have been able to pull money from that account? It's not even a part of the same bank Mom has accounts in and was made only for you and I to access. So shut the hell up about it being Mom or Sarah that took the money. You tricked me so that you'd have easy access to some of my money. I'm not gonna trust a single word out of a scummy-ass loser's mouth like yours. Wait! I've had a lot of reasons for doing that! I don't even want to listen to your sob story. Don't ever talk to me again. God damn it! Now you've gone and told Curtis some BS to make him doubt me!
I told him some BS? Are you sure I wasn't just telling him the truth?
I was only doing all of it for the sake of this family.
Whose family are you talking about? Have you even gone and seen the place Mom has had to live in? She's been having to live with the same exact clothing, dishes, and bedding that she had when we were all living with her. Also, when it came to Mom's dad, he was the kind of guy that got into debt all the time, and that hurt his whole family. That is why Mom is severely allergic to things like being in debt. That whole time after Dad passed away, she had to raise us all by herself, and even when she didn't have enough money, she made it all work, because she never wanted to borrow any money at all. Yet for some damn reason, you thought it would be a good idea to lie about her and say she's been in major debt this whole time. You are a dick, Jet.
I get it. I'll tell the truth. Yes, I was using the money which you sent me for Mom on myself. But hey, I had no other choice. A lot of things happened with me, and I got into some debt. I couldn't find any way to get that debt to go away, so I started to pull money from what you sent to me.
Had you told me that you needed help a long time ago when you realized you were in trouble, I would have been fine helping you out. But it's been years now of me sending you money to send to Mom, and that's all been getting used up by you. Are you really going to tell me that that was all being used to pay off your debt? How much debt are you even in right now?
Wait a sec.
I know about how you just love to gamble, Jet, but I never commented about it because I thought you were smart enough to know not to ever spend more than what you could afford. However, look at yourself. You had to get into debt over it, and then you started to use my money to gamble that was meant for Mom. I can't forgive you for that crap, Jet.
How do you...
I had to ask someone to go out and look into what you've been up to. You are the worst, Jet.
Okay, I won't do any of that anymore. But can you please just send me this month's money? I have been having a really tough time paying off this debt, and I'm in trouble now.
No freaking way. I'm not sending you squat.
Are you really just going to abandon one of your own brothers while they're in need?
You're no brother of mine anymore. I already talked with Mom and Curtis about this, and we've all agreed to cut ties to you now. That means from now on, you never come around the three of us again.
You're cutting ties to me? Are you serious?
Of course I'm serious. I don't want to be involved with a man that thinks it's okay to use his whole money to pay off his own gambling debt.
Ah, I see. It doesn't really matter to me anyway.
Good. Thank you for understanding.
I have no use for a family that won't even spare me a little money anymore, so screw all of you. And as for the old hag's care, I'm not going to have to do any of that as she grows older.
I should have known. You really are nothing more than the scum of this earth.
I am. You never noticed that? I've been working with you and lived with you for so long. Guess you can't judge anything with those crappy eyes.
Anyway, don't you ever bother the three of us anymore.
Sure thing, I got it.
Also, when it comes to all that money you stole from us, I'll make sure to get it all back from you.
What was that? How do you think you're going to get that money back from me? You're not going to be able to take a family matter to court, you know.
I know that, but when it's a civil affair, that's different.
A civil affair?
Well, that's what I said. Sure, I can't have you charged as a criminal for stealing, but I can still call this a civil affair that needs to be settled through a judge. And that's where I'll be able to sue you. I'll be able to come up with all the amounts of money you've taken from Curtis and I, and we'll both be able to get settlements from you if the judge deems that fair.
Wait a second. Are you serious about that?
Would I ever bluff? I'm not letting little cunts like you get away scot-free.
I already told you about the debt that I'm in, right? If I have to pay off 2 settlements as well to you guys, I'll never be able to have any money of my own ever again. Are you trying to ruin my life right now?
I sure am.
You know I'll never even be able to pay off all of that.
Are you going to start crying about it now? You're not a baby anymore, you're an adult. And as one, you need to take responsibility for what you've done.
Hey, hold on, please. I'll apologize and I'll make sure you both get your money back.
You think I'm going to believe what you're telling me anymore?
Can you at least give me until after I've paid off my other debt before I pay you both? If you allow that, then I'll be able to get you both your money a whole lot faster.
No damn way, Jet. I'm taking you to court over this as soon as possible. The next time you talk to me will be with my lawyer.
Hold on a second. Don't go trying to kill one of your own family members like that.
Well, that family member went and stabbed everyone in their own family in the back. And you having to go burn in hell now is what you freaking deserve. I really hope you can work your ass off somewhere to make more money to pay everything off while you're still alive.
Please, Sarah, listen to me, please.
I've already heard enough of you. And this is the choice we've all made because of it, so give up trying to change my mind. I just finished up talking to my lawyer about Jet, and he seems to be wanting to take on both of our cases against him, thankfully. So, when you have time, please give him and I a call.
Awesome, thank you for that. I'm still in shock, though, that Jet would do all of that to us.
I feel the same way too. But you know who's even more sad than the both of us right now? Mom is. So we need to wrap all of this up and get back to living life the way things were to make her happy again.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Pretty soon will be her 70th birthday, so when that time comes, let's make sure to celebrate it with all our heart.
Of course. I've always had to rely on everyone else, so this time I'll step up and make sure to support Mom just like you've been doing.
I'll be looking forward to that then. After all of that, Curtis and my claim against Jet was recognized in a civil suit, and he was ordered to pay damages and compensation to us. It seems he really was in some serious debt, and this only made a situation more dire for him to deal with. He did try and plead for the judge to let him off the hook this time for what he'd done, and even told everyone in that courtroom that he was in close to $100,000 worth of debt still. But the judge wasn't going to listen to him anymore after all he heard from Curtis and I, and told him he'd have to start paying the both of us in the next 3 months. Not even a day after that case, both Curtis and myself ended up getting part of our settlements paid off by Jet, but that was using whatever he had left in terms of borrowed money. Eventually, some of the debt collectors started coming after him, and even found his workplace, which led him to losing his job. I'm not sure why his boss fired him from there, but I think it had something to do with one of those collectors actually storming inside the building swinging a baseball bat, saying he was going to break Jet's legs if he didn't start paying. After being forced out of the workplace and told to never come back, Jet had no other choice but to confront the collectors, who told him he'd get one last chance before they took him out back and offed him. He was then told by them to pick up work for a construction group they ran, and there he's been working day in and day out making up the money they need from him. There was only one problem with all of this, and that's that he never got over his gambling addiction. And so, after going out in the middle of the night to gamble away some of his money, he was found and taken away by those collectors. To this day, nobody really knows what happened to him or where he went, but none of my family really cares, so I'm just going to say that was the end for him. Curtis and I never did get our full settlements from Jet in the end, but I don't mind that either, because at least we now both know we'll never ever be seeing him again. When it comes to my mom, with Jet no longer being a part of our family, she finally decided to move in with my family. My son has really started to enjoy playing with my mom, and the house as a whole feels a lot brighter with her around. We also ended up celebrating my mom's 70th birthday in my house along with Curtis, and seeing my mom's smile a grin so huge, it felt like we finally gone back to being a very happy family again. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.